Hey, so people have been asking me, what does the big beautiful bill do for real estate? Love it or not, I'm just going to talk about a few different things right here. Number one is SALT, state and local taxes. So, for example, you've always been able to deduct the income taxes you pay to your state, California income taxes, the local taxes you pay, your property taxes. You were able to take a deduction of your state taxes that you paid and deduct it against your federal income. So federal income is going to have their high tax bracket, right? But then you were able to reduce your income through the deductions and pay less federal income taxes. That has been limited for the last 7 years to $10,000 has been the cap. So you could only deduct $10,000 of state and local income taxes against your federal income tax. Well, here in California, we have, everything's expensive here. We have higher taxes. We have higher property values, which means we have higher property taxes. And the thing is, we burn through that $10,000 pretty quick. So, a family earning, let's say a family making $200,000 a year, they're going to be paying a lot more than $10,000 in state and local income tax, but they haven't been able to write it off. So part of the big beautiful bill, it increased that deduction to $40,000 per year. Now we're talking, now suddenly you get a well, assuming you got there, but most people will, you got a $40,000 tax deduction against your federal income. That's a huge, massive, massive tax savings, meaning more take-home income in our pockets. 2, depreciation. This is more of an investor thing, but when you buy an investment property, you get to depreciate it as a tax deduction against your taxes. And this is a little technical. I can go into long details, but I don't have an hour. So when I say depreciation, think about it. A farmer buys a tractor. Let's say he spends $200,000 on the tractor and it has a 10-year life expectancy. So what the IRS would allow him to do is to depreciate that tractor, that $200,000, divided by 10 years or $20,000 per year every single year, and he gets to take a $20,000 tax deduction against his income, meaning he pays less income taxes. Well, you get to do the same thing with rental properties, which is kind of cool. Certain people, qualifying properties, things like that. It's not for everybody, but it's a cool thing that they've made permanent the accelerated depreciation, meaning cost segregation. So normally it's been for residential properties 27.5 years, all right? And instead of doing the depreciation equal installments over 27.5 years, you can take almost all of it up front right now. So that is a massive, massive tax savings, allows the investors to not have to put so much money into a property and then not be able to get it back. And the third thing that's not part of the big beautiful bill is Trump is talking about, he's considering his cap gains exclusion. So right now, if you have a primary residence that you've lived in for 2 of the last 5 years, if you are a single person, you get to take the first $250,000 profit absolutely tax-free. If you're married and you've lived in that primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years, it's $500,000. Now, in most of the country, $500,000 is an enormous amount of money. But right here in Southern California, like if you've owned a home, pretty much any property for 7 or 8 years, you're going to have more than $500,000 of gain in that thing. You just are. That's how much properties have gone up. So that $500,000 limitation for a married couple, Trump is talking about making it go away. Now, think about this. If you've been in your house for a whole bunch of years, like there's a lot of people, the baby boomers and the Gen Xers like myself, if they get a little older, kids have moved out, you've had that house for 15, 20 years, you have way more than $500,000 gains in that house. So if you were to sell that house and let's say downsize to a single story or something like that, and then in order to do that, you got to pay a massive tax bill. It's like, well, hold on. If I sell my own home and buy a home that better fits my needs, I have to pay how much in taxes? And they're just not doing it. So people are living in homes that don't suit their needs because of this. Trump is talking about eliminating the limitations, meaning all of your capital gains on a primary residence you've lived in 2 of the last 5 years is